Boy, this is going to be a whole lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Famous last words. I just jinxed the entire project, Ian. All right, we're back at it tonight. It's actually 2 nights later. Last night we had a family reunion to go to, and that took up most of the evening, and by the time we got back, we didn't want to do anything. So we didn't do much recording tonight. We spent more time getting frustrated and cutting ourselves from bending conduit and getting metal splinters, and we haven't done a whole lot of bending before. And so, Ian, you want to get the one piece and show them? I've only done probably a handful of bends before, and none of them actually turned out the way I wanted them to. So we had a lot of trial and error going on tonight. Where'd you put that piece?
I don't know. I set it down.
I don't know where you put it. Yeah, here's one of our failures.
It caked.
I think actually that was one of our first bends. There's your piece right there.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that one just ended up becoming a test piece that we were bending a whole lot of. But let me show you what we were able to work on tonight. So we swapped out the Type-C connector here, and you can see we've got the metal coming in all the way, terminating into the metal box, and then we've got the second metal coming in, and we've got the second EMT coming in, which is running down behind all the water lines.
Right up there.
And terminating out there into the box. We've got to finish cleaning up the boxes outside tomorrow. But ultimately, overall, it was a very productive night. We were able to get everything terminated to that main junction box inside. So tomorrow, maybe, or maybe Monday, we will finish running the conduit going over to the wall where the inverters are, and hopefully terminating into the PV disconnect box that I have and making some modifications there so that PV disconnect box also goes directly into the wireway instead of all the wires hanging out.
We'll get back at it tomorrow.
All right, another new day, and we're getting back at it, trying to hopefully finish up some of this conduit work tonight. We had good intentions yesterday of actually doing some work down here, but once we got home from church, let's just say we take our day of rest pretty seriously. So, sometimes you really just need that day where you do nothing. So tonight we're going to look at hopefully finishing getting the conduit run from our new junction box that we put in the ceiling 2 nights ago. We're going to run it over and down, so it should hopefully terminate right around this spot, right next to the wireway. And then we will look at actually mounting the PV disconnect box for our breakers and stubbing it out away from the wall, and then punching into the side of the wireway so that the PV lines can go straight through the wireway and come up right underneath the inverters instead of having them run over top. So let's get started tonight and let's see how far we can get. You ready? You sure?
Yeah.
You look ready. You look tired. Too bad. Let's go.
What?
All right, so like I said, we've got to come from this box, and I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to use the knockout on the side. I'm going to come over 2 bays and then run along this wall, over the trunks, and 90 down. Let's see if I can turn the light on. Here we go. So I have a 90 coming down here and a little bit of an offset coming down. Run down the wall, and it'll terminate here. We'll have to build out a little bit here so that our breaker box can sit right flush in line, and then we'll see what kind of offset we need to come down into the box. And then I have a 3/4 inch nipple that I'll be able to run from the disconnect box through the wireway and let the PV wires go right into the box. So the nice thing is, last night during some of our screw ups, we already have one 90 piece ready to go. And then we'll have to cut in half over here so that we can feed it up into the joist, and then put a coupler there. We'll put a coupler on the end here, and then run a piece over, have a 90 coming down. Little offset. Boy, this is gonna be a whole lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. Famous last words. I just jinxed the entire project, Ian. Why use this when I can use this? A whole lot faster. Yes, it's much noisier, but it's much faster. So much faster.
And yet so much noisier.
Because we have to go through multiple studs and these don't bend.
We have a bender.
No, you have to cut it in half to feed half of it through this side and then half of it through this side, and then put a coupler in the middle.
Oh boy.
Then the fun part is going to be figuring out exactly where to drill our holes so that everything's straight. And a very important thing, don't nick the wires. We'll tighten that down in a minute. Nice.
Where's Sharpies?
Not that way. Well, maybe it is that way.
There's like no difference.
Yeah, I gotta widen it.
Well, duh, it's not supposed to happen like that.
That has to go up above.
Will it fit?
Ba-ba-ba.
You're not gonna make it through because of those. What?
Nice.
That is fancy maneuvering. It's still too long.
Nope.
What?
She fits. Whoop, whoop. All right. As long as I can get the coupler on. Nice. Woo-hoo. Look at that. Almost like I knew what I was doing. It's amazing what you can fake out, isn't it? Gotta shove my head. Oh, nope, it didn't fit there. Ouch.
I see it.
Yep, it's too high. Needs to go under this wire. Come on.
And then it comes over here. There we go. We got a bend.
Now to the
Other
offset. And this is actually going to be kind of a jog and an offset. So it's going to be a little bit interesting.
Hopefully we don't need to use any extra conduit because we don't have much.
So I forgot. So the conduit is in line with the edge of this board.
Yes.
But where I need to come into the top of the box is over here.
Yeah.
So I need to get the conduit over here.
Yeah. But you turned it. Like you have it turned.
Yeah. Like, if I do it like this, it's still not.
It's just barely. Couldn't you bend it a little farther?
Because yeah, that's straight up and down right now. That's way off.
Way off.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, I mean, I can try to kick it this way and then down. I might have to add a piece on the bottom to lengthen it. I just wish that I could do all this up higher so that I don't see this ugly bend. So that's what it'll look like.
Ah.
All right, we got the spacer board put on here, which would bump out this box. So we're gonna get our mounting holes marked for this, so then we can mark for coming into the wireway. I want to make sure that it stays nice and level. Get the screws. Wonder if I'm actually hitting a, yep, I'm hitting a screw right there. So we'll come down. So I need to get a drill bit that'll work with our new tool that we got. So it's a hydraulic knockout kit.
A ton hydraulic knockout kit.
And I really wish that I would have had this when I was drilling all those holes in that wireway. Would have saved me so much time. So I used it once already to punch an 1.25 inch hole into our new junction box.
So we could fit the large conduit that's going through the crawl space.
Right. But right now we'll need to do a 3/4 inch. So I got it snugged up right now. I got the 1 inch hole cutter on the pump. I had to drill a 3/4 inch hole. Now to be honest, in full disclosure, I accidentally wasn't paying attention when I used the Christmas tree bit to drill this hole, and I drilled a 1 inch hole with the Christmas tree bit. But it's not exactly the size that we need. It's actually a little smaller, so I put the right size hole punch on here because I wanted to show you this hydraulic punch. So we've got it in place, and we just start pumping away. You heard the pop.
And it fell out.
And it fell out.
Perfect circle.
Now look at our hole.
There's nothing.
Don't put your fingers in there.
I'm not. None of that.
That's a much bigger hole than I needed.
There's none of that extra gunky stuff. So it would have been fine.
It would have been fine the way it was. Ah! So this is actually a 3/4 inch nipple in a 1 inch hole, and I still needed the 3/4 inch cutter. Boy, I was not paying attention at all. It's not even that late.
Yeah, it's 7:30. Almost 7:45. I think.
All right, well,
Well,
then I will have to get a 1 inch.
nipple.
Actually, here's what I can do for right now. So, for the time being, I have this 1 inch to 3/4 inch reducer. I will only put the 3/4 inch hole on my box. And so that way, that would allow me to put the reducer on here, lock it in, put the 3/4 inch hole, slide it in place. Should be fine.
So you want me to buy the 1-inch nipple?
I don't know what that's from. I have used this punch kit twice
now.
And it is sweet.
To say the least.
I really wish,
Yeah.
I really wish that I had this when I was drilling those holes in the first place. There's what it cut out for me just now. I will say the quality of the box is somewhat lacking. When I got this, it was all dented and on the inside. It just seems like it's a cheap box. And I have seen some complaints of the tool leaking and stuff, but I haven't had any problems. I mean, my manual was all torn to shreds because it's rubbing on some of these teeth. And you can see right here, this is all from just shipping it like normal. It's all biting, the teeth are biting into the box. But the tool itself has worked great so far. As long as you don't care about the box being a little funky. It is by no means the most expensive.
Cheapest either, I'm guessing?
I think it was around $100, give or take. So it's not bad. All right, I got my 3/4 inch hole drilled on the side of the box. We've got our 1-inch hole over here, but for right now, I'm just going to use a 1-inch to 3/4 reducer because I have a 3/4 inch nipple. All right, just got back from dinner. Ian's got to finish getting ready for bed tonight, so I kind of lost my cameraman and an assistant. But here's where we are right now. We've got the conduit coming down into this box. We'll have the breakers in here. So it'll be coming out of this box through a 3/4 inch nipple right now. I'll get a 1 inch later. And then coming into here, coming over, and then we'll punch up when we get the inverters back and get the right placement. We'll punch up here for PV1, PV2 for inverter 2. And then we'll do the same over here. We'll punch up and we'll run EMT up. So let's try and fish some wire right now and see if we can feed it through our conduit. There's our first set.
There's our second set.
Third set.
Other set.
And fourth set. I know I need to tighten down this. I need to tighten everything down still. But I think I'm going to just do a little bit of cleanup and then we're going to call it a night. Still need to order the ferrules. Those probably won't show up till the end of the week. But I can still get this ready to go. And then we've got our lines that'll come through into here. And they'll come into a raceway and then go up to their appropriate inverters. So much cleaner. Then when the inverters show up, I've got another change that I'm going to make regarding some of this cabling, but I'm not going to spoil that until the inverters get here and everything gets installed. So, all right, so we'll catch up with you tomorrow night. Maybe if this guy gets his homework done, he'll be able to help too, because it's kind of nice having another set of hands and a cameraman. It's a little bit easier to dialogue when you've got somebody to talk to instead of, just the crazy guy in your head that you're talking to. So, all right, we'll catch up with you tomorrow. All right, it's another new day, and we're getting back to hopefully wrapping up this project tonight. We will see, but I'm curious to know how many of you actually noticed the problem when I was installing that box yesterday for the PV disconnects. Let's take a look at it again and see if you caught it. So we've got our conduit coming down in here. There's our lines, and you can see we've got our line drilled going into the wireway. Notice the problem yet? Okay, let's just assume that initially everything looks fine, because I did. Now let's see if this helps you understand what the problem is. So we'll take one breaker, put it in. Two breaker, put it in. Three breaker, put it in. And you should see it by now. And four breaker, put it in. All right, what do you see? Now, this is not ideal. I can make it work, but it's not ideal. These boxes are ridiculously tight. But, like I said, I can make it work. This isn't necessarily the issue that I was talking about. This is. I can barely stick my finger in there. So let alone, these bundles of wires are not going to be able to make any turn from either the top or the bottom and go into there without having super sharp bends. So I've got options. Look for a different box. I can shift this entire box up and put my entrance point further down. Because of this little rib here, which I believe is where the cover screws in here. This rib will prevent me from going all the way down to the bottom. But if you look close, I drew a pencil line right there. I'm not sure how well it shows up. I think I can see it on the camera, but kind of in line with the bottom. So if this ran all the way down to the bottom, there would still be about 3/4 of an inch or so. Well, less than 3/4, because you've got the lip of the conduit, you've got your washer and all that stuff. So you would have a little bit of better access. Another option would be just to move this box higher up here and then have a line come out of the bottom and 90 into here. So I've got to think about this one for a minute. You would think something designed for, 4 double pole breakers would give you a little more vertical room with the cabling. Like I said, I could make these work. It would be snug. It would be very snug. But I could get them in there. But I don't know that I necessarily like that. So I think before I do anything else, I'm going to take a look and see if I can find a taller box that still allows for 4 double pole breakers. I mean, honestly, you really need at least twice this headroom and footer room to be able to work with this. So let me know if any of you guys actually noticed that problem brewing as Ian and I were working on this yesterday. So this is what we decided to go with. We ended up picking up a larger box, which you can see gives us significantly more room to work on the top and the bottom. and it allows our wire to come right out the side here. So what Ian's going to do right now is he's going to go through and he's going to straighten up these wires through the top, use the screwdriver, and then make sure everything's tightened down snug, and then we can put the cover back on. So Ian, the screwdriver's right on top.
So negative of first. I'm doing it the wrong way.
Nope, you're going the right way. Just don't over crank it.
It doesn't want to go any farther.
Okay, then you're done. So move on to the next one.
Positive first breaker. They neither want to go far.
Okay.
Negative of second. Positive of second. Negative of third. Yes. Positive of third. Negative of fourth and last. Positive of fourth and final.
So I had ordered ferrules for these, and the ones that I ended up getting were basically garbage. I mean, they actually looked like they were for 8 or even 6 gauge wire and not 10 gauge wire. So what we ended up doing was we stripped off twice the length of cable, doubled it over, and then put it down inside the top of the circuit breaker. All right, now we're to the point that we just wait for the inverters to show up and then get them all installed again.
Thanks for watching. Catch up with y'all later.